Okay, I think we can start. Okay, good morning and after evening. Vio from Vio's Gaming channel here, and today we will play Without a Voice, dark fantasy love story as a part of our love, romance, and heart. The Abundante Ball 2026. This festival is organized by Sunny Demeanor Games, and we will see a lot of different type of games. I chose specifically a different type of games than the usual thing that I play, but I will choose some of the more quirky games too later. But yeah, that is the thing on my side. Thank you for pinning Yamineko, and thank you also for the emotes side. Thank you all. Thank you for this. It's been a while since I'm streaming. I believe about 19 days. But yeah, we will do it again now for this festival. It gives me a good motivation. Oh, sorry. To stream and to play. So yeah, without further ado, let's play. Also, the game link and the content warning, trigger warning is pinned on the chat, so it is quite something. It's been 3,000 years, yeah. Not wrong. Something like that. But yeah, either way, let's start the game. I haven't tested the game if it is working or not, but I hope it works. So, and this game is free on Steam, so you can check it out yourself. Yeah, it should be working lah. Let me silence the song and start the game. Also, if my voice is picking, let me know so I can adjust the volume. Okay, I am playing the game and setting the game capture for full screen application. This should be working, I hope. I just hope, and I hope. But yeah. This is not a full screen capture. Okay then, let me just capture that specific game. Let me change this to full screen. Where is display? Okay, that is the full screen display. Let's see if it is capturing that. Okay, I think you can see the game and you can hear the game audio too, I believe. I think so. I think it should be good. Also, you can see the options. We have usual and also the font. We can use Allegria, the default one, or Open Dyslexic. This is an interesting choice. We have text default large and text color white or off-white. Okay, let's just use the default setting first on here. Let's see the help. There is also a keyboard, mouse controller, and content warnings. The content warnings is the one that I pinned, but this is better. This list is in no way exhaustive or complete, and not everything on this list is present on every playthrough. Please exercise caution while playing. Violence, graphic depiction of deathcore, homophobia, implied incestuous themes, and codependency. And yes, Open Dyslexic is very good for those things in here. This is there is a keyboard and mouse and also controller. Today we will use keyboard and mouse for surprise. Also, this one. This is the detail for this one, for without a voice and a description. This was originally planned for Yuri Game Jam, but it is completed for a big things. We have achievement, we have gallery, music, and characters. There is 2 endings, I believe, so, and which we can come back after completing the game. So yeah, let's see. You can see the front, right? It is interesting on this one. And yes, I think everything is there. Let's start. Content War. Yeah, we can view more on the content warning. This is the one that we just read before. So, yeah, let's go.
When cold, cruel destiny has thee within her grasp, thou may endeavor bravely, dear, to change thy path. But fate cares not which twisted road you choose to take. Your dance atop her palm, with airy choice you make.
Day 1. And beautiful voice act. Oh, the illustration is very beautiful. You can see that. It was morning like any other. The tragedy soon to unfold would affect so few people that time would swiftly forget it. For those involved, however, that morning was a maelstrom, throwing them each in closer and closer still. Oh, dialogue volume is a bit too small. Yeah, later I will increase that. Let's see if I can increase it on here. Already maximum. Okay, so I think I need to increase the game volume then for that. Let me check. Okay, like this. Yeah, let's see. It all began innocently enough, with a certain exiled princess in a terrible predicament.
Oh dear, run out of firewood. Only I'd noticed yesterday.
This is Cassidy. Yeah, because I am setting up my voice to be non-boosted, but basically I can see it close to peaking, but it should be good. I optimize some things a bit.
This has caught me quite unawares.
The ex-princess in question was named Cassidy, and she was the eldest child of the kingdom of Veromere. Running out of firewood is still a better predicament than being stolen by a turtle. Yes, definitely. What's that you say? You've never heard of Veromere? One should not be surprised. This all happened long before the universe summoned you into existence.
The next shipment isn't due for a little while yet. But I cannot wait. I won't be able to cook or do laundry without a fire.
So long had the princess had been living in this cottage alone that she'd taken to talking to herself, just to feel less lonely. Determined to gather some wood before sundown, Cassidy grabbed a hatchet and some linen and then quitted the place. Once outside, she paused, considering for the umpteenth time whether it would be best for her to lock the door.
No one will come in anyway. My brother's agents never enter. No one else travels this deep into the wood.
Convincing herself so, Cassidy turned away and headed into the forest to begin her mission. Unfortunately, her determination and willpower were short-lived.
As I thought. Firewood isn't just lying on the ground just waiting to be picked up.
Yeah, it won't be lying on the ground like that. Though she brought the hatchet, she'd foolishly hoped she wouldn't have to use it. Faced with so many different types of trees, most of them quite large, she was unsure how to proceed. Now that I think about it, how much firewood do I usually use at once? Oh, the more I try to remember, the more adult I get. Perhaps I'll just subsist on fruits and fungus until the next crate arrives. A timely stomach growl quickly put a stop to such plans. Cassidy let out a sigh.
For now, then, I shall return to my favorite place.
Not
Always
as
brings me peace.
not as guilty as farming live sim. Yep.
That place holds some magic I've always felt. I'm sure I shall be able to think of something once I'm there.
Sorry, I'm drinking. Her spirits restored, Cassidy hefted her linen satchel a little higher. It was not long until she would be comfortable again, she thought.
Why, you're as radiant as ever.
There were many views to take pleasure in this forest, but this one in particular always brought her delight. Though she had lived here now for some seasons, the tree before her seemed never to change.
I don't know much about wisteria. Are they meant to stay in bloom year-round? Perhaps the winters here are mild.
Ah, wisteria.
Wisteria shall wither not when flakes of winter fall. Yet all must someday perish, while heeding nature's call.
But nature wields not power o'er us all.
A clear, wind-chimed voice caught Cassidy's attention. Cassidy's heart stuck in her throat as she followed the sound and caught sight of the woman sitting there. She had never before seen a woman so breathtakingly beautiful.
My apologies for interrupting your poem, madam.
It was only a couplet. You did not interrupt, so much as improve it.
Oh? Then all the better. But it is not safe to be so deep in the wood. Tarry not.
I live here. It is quite safe, I assure you.
When life seems let you do work by wearing a princess outfit, though. That's a point. That's a good point, actually. We need to unlock some of the skins first before we are wearing those princess suits. Yeah, many actually. Yeah, but we need to unlock sometimes, right?
I dare say I have lived here much longer than you have.
No harm has ever come to me in these woods. Perhaps our experiences merely differ.
Certainly. I concede your point.
Cassidy paused a long while, unsure to how to carry on the conversation. How strange. I used to make small talk with all the courtiers as if it were nothing. Has time truly affected me so?
You say you live here?
I do.
I have never seen you. I'm quite sure of it. I would remember someone like you. Whereabouts do you live? If you don't mind my asking.
Hardly a stone's throw from where we now stand.
A stone's throw? Let me save. This is VisualNovel, so every branching I need to save to see if we can get back and do some backtracking and check all the endings. This is a short one, a short VisualNovel. So they said we can do about 2 hours for 100%. So it's about 3 hours for me because I am reading the dialogue and doing some backtracking. That's it. I'm like, okay, a stone's throw? How can that be? I suppose she doesn't wish to expose where she lives to an utter stranger. That is reasonable. She seems to be quite on her guard.
I envy your view of this lovely place.
Do not envy me.
What could that mean? How droll.
Oh, where are my manners? My name is Cassidy. I, too, live nearby.
You may call me Elowen.
Elowen.
What a curious name. What a lovely name.
Besides, I was already aware that you live nearby.
What? How?
I have seen you before, albeit from a distance. You come here often.
Oh dear. I must have been making a complete fool of myself. I am sorry that you've had to witness that.
Cassidy thought back to all the complaining she'd done under this tree, and all the time she sullied herself trying to gather fruit. There were many other truly mortifying memories. She stared at the ground in shame. When she looked up, however, Elowen was smiling. Cassidy felt her tension wane.
So what brings you back to this place?
I wanted to calm myself.
Calm yourself? What for? What could possibly cause you distress?
With a sour tone, does you think I just daydream and laze about all day?
Many things. I'll have you know that at this very minute, I am on a mission that might mean the difference between life and death.
Oh, and yet you dally here. What could this mission involve, pray tell?
I see my presence is not wanted here. I shall return to my search forthwith.
Yep, that is like a death for some places, especially in the winter. So, because you cannot cook without the firewood and you cannot heat yourself. Just as she was about to turn away and leave Elowen and the wisteria tree behind, Cassidy heard Elowen laugh softly. It was a bewitching sound.
I see I have offended milady. No offense was meant, I can assure.
The VA is very good though.
Really?
The Cassidy VA gives a good emotion.
Truly,
I see.
I would never wish to cause you pain. Tell me of your mission.
I have run out of firewood.
Upon hearing this, Elowen stood up and dusted herself off.
Allow me to be of service.
Oh no, I couldn't possibly impose.
Please. This tree suffers so much every time you shed your tears and frustration upon it.
This tree. Yet, despite her abrasive words, Elowen was tirelessly helpful. So Elowen is the tree. That tree. I guess. It was she who taught Cassidy to gather smaller bits of kindling and to use the hatchet when that proved insufficient.
If you wrap these smaller branches together, they shall burn just fine.
I see. Oh, I am certainly glad not to have to chop down a whole tree. I was worried about that.
Yes. Once felled, a tree can never rise again.
Yeah, you need to chop the tree, what's it? Conservatively? Basically chop it, but mind the tree, so let the tree live.
Take of them their fruit, their branches, but spare them their roots and lifeblood.
Responsibly, yes, responsibly.
Lifeblood?
Do trees have blood?
This forest is quite old, you know. I wish it would stay forever this way. But man has trouble leaving things be.
Yeah, man. The disparity between Elowen's indifferent expression and the biting tone of her voice made Cassidy's heart ache. Let me save. She must have a bad experience, or she must love trees. I've lost many a tree to random back attacks. Yep, in Minecraft. And that's dangerous. Those explosions. She must have a
We
bad
humans
experience.
are meddlesome things, aren't we?
That's... Perhaps I'm making too light of her feelings. I thought that was rather an intelligent thing to say.
You truly love this forest.
Yes. In fact, I feel that I am part of it, and it is part of me.
And you are the forest, I guess. How beautiful. The two continued through the forest, gathering wood and passing the time with easy conversation. As they walked leisurely, the sun began to sink. So too did the satchel of wood over Cassidy's shoulder sag.
It seems that you've gathered plenty of wood now. Surely that will be enough?
You're right!
The time had gotten away from the exiled princess. Now that their afternoon together was coming to an end, Cassidy was afraid. Afraid and hopeful, which was perhaps more dangerous still.
Then,
Excuse me, Miss Elowen?
yes?
Might I... That is, might we meet again?
Oh, that blush, that blush. Look at
You've
that blush.
no idea how happy I am to meet another person living in this wood. And a woman at that.
Yet, the expression on Eleven's face showed that she had, in fact, some idea.
I was about to suggest the same. You might find me in this area most afternoons.
I see! Then, until tomorrow.
Would that we meet so soon, my lady.
With that, Elowen bowed and laughed. Her steps make almost no sound. What a graceful woman! Not just beautiful, but elegant and smart. As she walked back to her cottage, so filled with thoughts of Elowen was her head, that Cassidy forgot all about her fatigue and the weight of her burden. She certainly is opinionated, but she must have so much more experience sleeping independently than I.
I hope I am not a bother to her.
Go trigger friend. Yeah. And with that, the once princess returned home, blissfully unaware of the roots that were this very moment grabbing hold of her heels and pulling her beneath. That is the prologue.
It is said a fool repeats his days, changing not but expecting change. I posit these men are by routine hogtied.
Hogtied. Interesting word.
They expect not, and are by not satisfied.
Day 2. Also, this game has 7 days from what I read. So, let's see how it goes. Yeah, I think I played some of the games that has 7 days on VN too, like that Taste of the Sea. And some of the games are quite dark. So, yeah, I think this is a good team. Anyways, day 2. There is a sort of melancholy one feels when closing a book for the final time. Feeling its last words wash over you as you leave this world and return to your own life. It was an ennui that Cassidy had grown used to. In her former life, she had received the best education that money and bribery might buy. Money and bribery. Okay. Now that bright mind was left to languish fed by nothing more than a single new book each fortnight. Yeah, deadline. Of course. By now, Cassidy was in the habit of reading very slowly indeed. She shut her latest tome and placed it up on the table next to her half-written letter to her brother.
I never sound quite myself in these letters. How do you write from a distance to one whom you once saw daily? And how do you write anything at all when your life has grown so dull?
He decided to pen a few more sentences on how moved she felt after reading the book and how profoundly distressed she was by the ending of it. Family is important, but so too is recognizing the value of what you have before it is too late. If only the king had realized what a wonderful daughter he had. And I hope that you realize how much you are loved by me, your one and only sister. She paused, overcome by sheer feeling, and decided to keep that final bit to herself. It was too desperate for comfort, and princesses did not whinge so.
No, that won't do at all. How unbecoming.
With a sigh, Cassidy stared at the crackling fire. She had more than enough firewood now to last until her next shipment of it. The sight reminded her of Elowen.
I wonder what Elowen is doing at this very moment.
She could not fathom the day-to-day life of such a mysterious personage was utterly beyond her imagination. Her curiosity is so engaged, it was now impossible to ignore. And so, the fair Cassidy resolved herself to take a walk and casually seek the other women out.
Perhaps I'll even stumble across where she lives today. Wouldn't it be exciting to surprise her at her home?
Yeah, thinking nothing of at all of how inconvenient, how overly forward and impertinent it might be, she departed immediately. Once outside, Cassidy took in a deep lungful of crisp forest air.
How lovely it is today. Hardly a cloud in the sky.
She took measured steps into the forest, constantly scanning the area around her, on the lookout for this elusive domicile. Might Elowen live in a cottage like me? She's so elegant. I cannot imagine her doing housework. Then again, I could hardly imagine myself doing housework not so long ago. Oh, how times change a person. Cassidy reached her beloved wisteria tree before long and eagerly drank in the sight of it. She ran up to the tree and encircled it with her arms, as if meaning to embrace it.
Hello, dear tree. You are looking as lovely as ever today. Though a certain someone sits not beneath your boughs this afternoon.
She leaned to one side and then another, looking around the tree and into this forest to see if she might spy a window or the billowing of chimney smoke.
I can't suppose that Elowen lives in a tree house, does she?
Certainly not.
And Elowen is there. Oh! Appearing from below. That's nice.
Careful.
Eleven's arm shot out at once, her vice-like grip snaring the once princess just in time. Yeah, I forgot to read this. Startled, Cassidy jumped, her foot catching unhappily on one of the tree's roots, sending her flailing forward. Eleven's touch was so cold, yet her movements decisive. Cassidy's heart raced. Was she truly worried for me? It took Cassidy several moments to regain her composure. Eleven to look a bit shaken.
Thank goodness you arrived when you did. Though, truth be told, if you hadn't startled me so, I would not have fallen.
You're quite sassy, Cassidy. I guess. Yeah, you are an exiled princess.
Is that so? I shall endeavor to be less frightening in the future then.
Yeah, she's probably a sports spirit. Yeah, I'm thinking she's the tree. That Wisteria tree. Let me save again. Oh dear, she may have mistaken my meaning. I was only trying to cover up my embarrassment. That is not necessary.
I don't understand what you mean. I certainly don't think you're frightening.
Oh, your earlier words seem to suggest otherwise.
I was merely... Oh, never mind.
Fallen in love? Yeah.
How confusing you are.
Still, how curious it is for us to be meeting here again.
Very curious when you are just hugging the tree. The wisteria tree, that one.
You come here often? I live nearby. What is curious about it?
I'm merely saying that it is serendipitous. It must be fate.
Fate has nothing to do with it, I assure you.
But it's so much more romantic to think of it as fate.
But it is not.
I can think of nothing less romantic than fate.
That's true.
Hmm?
That's true.
Perhaps this is something not yet possible for you to understand.
Don't speak as though you're much older and wiser than me.
Maybe you are. Maybe she is much older and much wiser than Cassidy. Eleven laughed a little.
How old are you, anyway?
I think very old.
How old do you think?
I think very old. Cassidy stared at Elowen, gazing deeply into her eyes as if she might find the other women's secrets there.
Older than I first thought, perhaps.
I believe so.
A wise answer.
Elowen tipped her head slightly, the motion seeming to indicate a desire to move on. Cassidy was only too happy to comply. Together, the two of the women strolled. Their time together was marked by companionable sights. Cassidy, never before a quiet girl, was desperate to feel it, but what conversation might pique Eleven's interest was unclear. She peered shyly at Eleven's face in profile, so striking and noble did it seem. She has the air of an aristocrat. What could someone like she be doing living in the forest? Then again, am I not in the same position? Perhaps it's something she finds difficult to speak of. An icy gust of wind whistled through the clearing. causing Cassidy to shiver and rub her bare arms.
The sun will be setting soon and it will grow colder. Perhaps you should...
It was then that the question Cassidy had been ruminating on over all afternoon burst forth.
Would you like to come to my cottage?
Yeah. Honestly, that is cute. And you say it very fast. Elowen appeared quite overcome.
Is that... wise?
Whatever do you mean?
How can you extend such an invitation to one such as me, whom you hardly know? You are entirely too trusting.
Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting. Because if I know some of those entities can only enter if we invite them. Like the Fae, the other things, other type of creatures, the demon, devil, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. We faced a lot of those in a lot of those games that we played. And there is lore behind them. That is interesting though, what Elowen said.
I'm surprised at you. Two solitary women ought to stick together out in these wilds. Besides, who else have I to invite? That is, I sometimes feel quite lonely out here.
Yep.
Don't you?
Like vampires. Elowen turned her head slightly and gazed into the forest behind them, as if peering at something only she could see.
Loneliness, then. I see. Very well. I will take you up on your offer.
Interesting. Though puzzled by Elowen's hesitation, Cassidy was overjoyed that her invitation had been accepted. There was a spring in her step as she led the other women to her home. It was only in the front of the cottage that Cassidy suddenly understood what an impetuous thing it was that she was doing. Is the house clean enough? She could not seem to recall when she had last swept or aired out her bedding.
Is this where you live?
Yes.
It's charming.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could take more credit for that. The house was here long before I arrived. Even the furniture is not truly my own.
Still, it suits you.
Thank you.
Bolstered by Elowen's reaction, Cassidy finally gained the courage to follow through. She opened the door wide, gesturing for the other women to enter. As Elowen did so, with her usual slow, measured steps, Cassidy could not help but notice the other women's feet clearly visible in the slippers she wore. Ah, that's interesting. Her toes are curled. How odd. And that is an interesting slippers. Leaf? They stayed that way even as Elowen entered the house. Perhaps her manner of walking is not purely for the sake of elegance, but also necessity. Had Elowen some sort of pain in her feet? Cassidy pondered on this and resolved to ask about it when the opportunity arose.
It is quite spacious. You live here, alone?
That's right. It's not so bad. I don't have anyone to tell me what to do or where to go. I have a freedom now that I'd never known before.
Perhaps. But sometimes I believe that being tied down to something is easier.
Interesting.
If you don't realize you're being strangled, it's just a pleasant, lightheaded feeling.
Ah, I see.
I don't really understand.
That is interesting viewpoint.
It's alright if you don't.
The blissfully unaware that you are tied or to something. Elowen walked slowly from one part of the room to the next, her fingertips ghosting over every surface. She looked to be seeking the essence of each object, taking in every minute slow and deciphering its true nature. Cassidy wondered what Elowen might discover about her if only she allowed it. If only she dared. It was unbearably quiet. Just then, Elowen came across a book Cassidy had finished reading.
Oh, that's a book my brother sent to me. I get so frightfully bored here that these books have become my sanctuary. I'm expecting a new shipment soon.
Your brother?
Elowen was silent for a time, digesting that new information. And then her eyes fell on the half-finished letter haphazardly placed next to the book. Cassidy followed her gaze. Eyes wide, she leapt forward to snatch the letter away. How much had the other woman seen? She colored in mortification. And the song stops.
Your brother is far away from here.
Yes.
Is it beautiful? The place where you once both lived?
I have not once seen its equal.
More beautiful than this cottage prison of yours?
Cottage prison. The wording you chose. Cassidy could not hide her surprise at Elowen's poisonous choice of words, nor could she hide her sudden tears. Yes, let's save a bit. On the second page. It's not like that. She dried her eyes delicately, but with determination. Now was not the time for tears.
Things are complicated. It's not as clear-cut as you seem to believe.
Undoubtedly. The affairs of men oft are. However, all that I need to know is that he is there, and you are here. That he is responsible for that difference can be inferred quite easily.
You are a fast reader to be able to jump to such conclusions so swiftly. I am not unhappy here, Elowen.
Can you say that, truly? With an unclouded heart?
Elowen peered into Cassidy's eyes, and their gazes held like two magnets, pulling each other in closer and closer still. Yet Cassidy could not do it. She could not look Elowen in the eye and tell an untruth. Elowen looked to the window.
It has gotten dark.
Oh my! How rude of me. I have not offered you tea or any refreshment.
Do not trouble yourself on my account. I must away. I did not mean to impose for so long.
Oh, you are hardly an imposition.
You are kind and good.
Cassidy's face lit up.
Kind and good things do not survive long in a world such as ours.
Look at that. And just as quickly as it had come, the sudden rush of delight left her. Bowing her head, the other woman was out the door and gone, leaving hurt and confusion in her wake. And the stars When she looked out the window to glimpse the same view that Elowen had just beheld, what Cassidy saw before her was but bleak uncertainty.
Without wisdom or experience, storms shall ill-weathered be. But when you are nearby, dear one, no storms can bother me.
That is a good quintet, quartet. Day 3. The exiled princess paused on the very first line of her letter. To my dear Alexander. Is that too familiar? Will he dislike it? The brother of her memory was a kind boy, but rather stiff and particularly mindful of decorum. Following the events of the previous evening, Cassidy felt compelled to rewrite her half-finished letter. Let's save. I want Alexander to see me at my best. I do not wish to disappoint him or bore him with my original draft. She sighed, recalling the contents of the now ripped-up pages. I pined far too much. I would never whine, of course, but my words were drawing near that. If only, she was afraid to admit even to herself how much she missed her brother. Okay, Cassidy finished the letter without much of a fuss. She wrote briefly of Elowen, a passerby, helping her find firewood. Most of the contents, however, were in regard to the book she just had recently finished. To my dear Alexander, I hope that this letter finds you well, dear brother. I have greatly enjoyed the last book you sent me. However, it had such a sad ending. Even though the father loves his youngest daughter so, it all came to nothing in the end. Both of them died. Can there be any worse fate than to die at your loved one's hand? I dare say not. The book has given me much to think about, though I do hope you send happier tone next time. I do begin to tire of reading such dreary works. I will read again. Also, this is day 3 and the moon crashes after this. Yep. If in another world, the moon crashes. But in here, maybe it's day 7. Perhaps this will encourage my dear brother to send me more. Yeah, I cannot read the whole letter, but it's okay. When Cassidy looked out the window, she realized the sun had started to set.
Oh dear. Was I revising for so long?
I guess so.
Silly me.
She folded up her letter and placed it in an envelope, sealing it with the royal wax seal she had given. She stood and stretched her arms above her head.
I have hardly moved all day. That is no good.
Yep, not good at all. You need to stretch and relax and stay hydrated after this. We are close to the ad break, but we will do it later. Cassidy walked to the front of the cottage where she normally left her leather houseway beneath the door for an agent to collect. She had just stuffed her letter under the door when...
Princess?
Cassidy's blood ran cold just for a moment. Yet she soon realized who was addressing her and relaxed.
You surprised me, Elowen.
She spoke to the other women through the half-open window at the front of the cottage.
I am no princess, you know.
Is that so? You seem like one to me.
Cassidy was not sure how to respond to that sentiment. Have I casually let slip that I was a princess? I didn't realize that I still behave in the manner of one. Lifelong habits cannot be so soon discarded, it seems.
There is an envelope under the door.
Oh, yes. Do leave it there. It's outgoing.
Outgoing?
Eleven paused for a long while, but said no more on the subject.
May I come in?
Oh, of course! I'm so sorry. I should have invited you sooner. I was so taken aback, you see.
I did not mean to surprise you so.
It's all right. A happy surprise. I am so glad to see you.
Yeah, you're quite smitten with Elowen. Thank you, Seribot. She opened the door and ushered Elowen inside. This time, Cassidy did not forget her manners. She quickly flew into the kitchen to make her guest some tea and pulled out the crackers she set aside for just such an occasion. Elowen politely sipped the tea but did not touch the crackers. I suppose she has already eaten? There is a healthy glow to Elowen's face. I suppose she has already eaten. She strikes me as the type who would worry about her figure. What did you eat though? I wonder what did you eat? And it's all so late in the day already. Yes, I'm sure she has already supped and can eat no more. Supped. That is an interesting word. Supped. Supped. You probably had eaten a giant juicy stick. A stick of what? An animal? A human? Or other to be some creature? That's interesting though. Cassidy endeavored not to take offense and instead greedily partook the crackers herself. The two women trailed pleasantries for some time, although it became rather apparent that Elowen's attention lay elsewhere.
Is everything quite all right?
Why do you ask?
You seem somewhat reserved.
That
is more than usual.
That's
That letter. You said it was outgoing. Is that the letter you wrote your brother?
Oh, yes. If I leave the letters there, someone will come collect it.
Someone? How can that be? You do not go into town to have your mail delivered?
She was at a loss as to how to explain. Cassidy herself knew that her situation was extraordinary.
You see, though I live alone, I am well taken care of. My brother provides everything. Every fortnight or so, his agents deliver food and supplies to me. Someone is around to collect my outgoing letters once or twice a day. I only ever send my brother letters, of course.
I was not wrong when I said this place was like a jail. Why do you live here alone, when he clearly has enough resources to take care of you?
Cassidy shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Eleven's eyes seemed not to look at her so much as bore into her soul. Cassidy felt judged and deemed unworthy, though she had not yet responded to Eleven's inquiry. No matter how she praised it in her head, it sounded awful.
I am here for my own safety.
She took a deep breath.
When you called me Princess earlier, you were not far off the mark. I once was a princess, though I am no longer. After my father, the king's death, I was to inherit the throne. But our barons in Parliament voted no confidence. Worse, I was then handed trumped-up charges of treason. I very well could have been executed. Instead, my younger brother intervened on my behalf.
So you are.
Anyways, ad break will come soon. I will read a bit, then we will do the ad break. About 3 minutes, so we can do some stretching and drinking.
Alive. An exile, but alive.
The former princess surprised herself at the depth of her own feelings, at the desperation with which she tried to convince especially herself that this was for the best.
It's not so terrible. This cottage is lovely. It is a good thing to be among nature like this.
Okay, ad breaks will... Is it snooze? I don't know. Because I was waiting for the ad break to come, but some there it is, the ad break. I was thinking it's gone. Anyways, yeah, let's do the ad break and see you in 3 minutes. Please drink and rest. Okay, I'm back, and we are on a revelation of the princess.
How can you be so positive?
What?
You speak so fondly of your brother, when he is the one who exiled you, who left you here to rot in isolation.
It's not like that, Elowen.
Thank you, right?
What part of what I said is false? Tell me.
It's not that simple. It is not Alexander's fault.
She found herself repeating her thoughts on the matter mechanically, things she only half believed. She had said all these things before. It seemed she no more believed them now.
As a result of your dear Alexander's intervention, you were exiled, were you not? Who's to say he was not responsible for the unfavorable vote in the first place?
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too, honestly.
Why would he do that? What would he have to gain?
The throne. The throne.
It is not my brother's fault. He could have let them kill me, but I am alive thanks to him.
I've previously stated my belief that you are kind and good. I have now revised my opinion. You are a blind fool.
That is very blunt.
As I am mute, you are blind. Altogether too blind to the selfish ways of the world.
What is your meaning?
Interesting. As I am mute. That's interesting.
It is nothing. Believe in your brother all you wish, but you cannot deny that there is a truth to what I've said.
Elowen rose from her seat in one swift movement, and then headed for the door.
Good night, princess.
She's clearly been through a lot, yes.
I am princess no longer. Mock me not, I beg you.
Just like that, she was gone, disappeared into the dark. Cassidy wrapped her arms around her torso, hugging herself for comfort in the wake of Elowen's sudden, indignant anger. Feeling comfort known, the former princess squeezed her eyes shut. Oh, Alexander, if only she knew you as I do, then she would understand. This kind of games would have twists and
There is a
turns.
treasure that can't be bought, no matter how long it may be sought. It is something priceless, yet free. I speak, of course, of an apology.
Day 4. After a restless sleep, Cassidy awoke to the sun's harsh rays. She stretched, arcing her back to release the tension there. Finally, her gaze went to the front door. There was a distinct light of a ladder beneath it. They must have come in the night. How diligent my brother's agents are. You are a blind fool. All at once, the memories of her argument with Elowen nearly knocked the wind out of her.
I cannot believe I divulged such secrets to someone I barely know.
Cassidy was puzzled both at herself and Elowen's odd behavior. Let's see. On page 3. I'm sure she had her reasons. Halloween appeared so upset. I wonder if she experienced something similar. Perhaps my blind optimism reminded her too much of it. I'm sure she is only worried for me. I seem to inspire that breed of pity in others. I can understand that. I'm afraid I often come off as quite helpless.
I must ask her about her own life. We know so little about each other. So one can only draw conclusions based.
I miss that. I said her about her own life. We know so little about each other, it's no wonder she would react that way. One can only draw conclusions based on what one already knows. Okay. Presently, there was a knock at the door. Given how long it had been since her last shipment, as well as the fact that Elowen was far more likely to announce her presence with her words, Cassidy could draw but one conclusion. She waited nearly 10 minutes before opening the door. It was protocol. She knew not who her brother sent, and it was unclear whether they knew whom they were delivering to. I see. Okay, that is suspicious. Really a prison. That is very suspicious. The royal family of Veromere had a distinctive look to them. It would not do for too many people to know who she was, or that a former princess dwelt here. When she finally allowed herself to open the door, she found a large wooden crate, not unlike the previous ones. Sitting atop the crate's contents was a sealed envelope. Cassidy instantly recognized the severe cursive. To my sister, I am glad to hear that you are adjusting well to the life at the cottage. Doubtless there are many things that challenge you, given your former life, but we must all make the best of things. I know that you have too much time on your hands, so I have been sure to enclose more books for you to read. You may one day be called upon to marry well for the advantage of king and country. As such, it is of the utmost importance that you keep your mind sharp and your hands unidle. This is very suspicious. The last part seemed to have been written later, as the script looks slightly different. I think of you often. I worry about you more often still. Be safe in the forest and keep to yourself, though I know that this is difficult for you. Please await my next letter. I remain your loyal brother, A. She read over the letter many times, trying her best to glean affection from it.
Alexander has always been a little awkward. I'm sure the last bit was added with some reluctance, after one of his advisors chastised him for the content of his letter.
Yeah, the letter content is quite worrying, to say the least. Quite worrying. Worrying is a word. Seriously. She smiled and ran her fingertips along the part that read, I think of you often. Sorry. But then she remembered the sentence about marriage. I don't want to marry. I've never considered marriage, even before my exile. Can a noble of royal from another nation be content with a wife who has been living in the woods? Can I even be content myself in such a marriage? The letter did not raise her spirits as much as a letter from Alexander usually did. The implication of it weighed on her. Also, thank you. Thank you, Annette, for still lurking. Thank you, thank you. Have a fun lurking and take care, yeah, please. We are still playing this visual novel without a voice. course, I must be useful for the kingdom somehow. Why else would I be alive if I can be of use even as a disgraced princess? Cassidy sighed. She could not finish that thought. All of a sudden, Cassidy wanted nothing but to see Elowen again.
I will seek her out. I must.
The other women's presence would certainly be a salve for her current mood. That was her reasoning, and she was swiftly act upon it. Cassidy set the crate away inside the cottage and then set out. After a long, fruitless walk about the forest, she arrived in the front of Wisteria Tree.
Elowen.
Princess?
I am no longer a princess.
Just because you no longer live in a castle does not mean that you are no longer a princess.
Cassidy was reminded of the word marriage once again. Elowen was right. She was still considered a princess, insofar as a princess could be useful. A long silence passed between them. Both were conscious, no doubt, of the argument that has transpired between them, an argument that they had not resolved.
I am sorry. I should not have burdened you with my circumstances to begin with.
Wait. I double-clicked that. Elowen's eyes widened almost imperceptibly, but Cassidy, staring into the other woman's face as she was, took note.
But you were only worried for me. I should have been more sensitive in my explanation.
You always remain the princess to me, maybe later in the story. And yeah, he still didn't use her for political marriage, yeah.
No.
Cassidy was struck by the sight of Elowen's soft smile as she laughed. The former princess' heart fluttered, and her brother's letter was promptly forgotten.
It is nothing. It would seem that I, too, am quite the fool.
The air thusly cleared. The two women were able to enjoy the rest of their day together. They whiled the time away in companionable satisfaction. That night, Cassidy drifted off to sleep with a full heart.
The strings of love are oft unseen. Though wrapped around you, they may be. When tied fast, none can come between, nor challenge humble fate's decree.
Day 5.
How beautiful it is today.
Indeed.
This wording, Elowen. Indeed. Elowen had surprised Cassidy early that morning, arriving at her front door without warning. Though Elowen didn't even knock, silly creature. I wonder if she would have left if I hadn't seen her and opened the door. The doubt bothered her almost as much as the notion that Elowen might not yearn for Cassidy's company the way Cassidy did for hers. After some time spent lingering, both paralyzed by indecision, they decided to go on a leisurely nature walk. For the next few hours, they strolled through the forest together, stopping here and there to pick berries or mushrooms.
That one is poisonous. Do not touch it.
Right.
Cassidy drew her hand back in mortified alarm.
It would not do for your lovely skin to be marred by poisonous spores.
Cassidy hazarded a glance at the other woman's face, but Elowen looked as unflappable as ever. Poisonous? How do you know so much?
You know so much about the flora and fauna here. However did you learn it all?
I have lived here many years. In that time, I have witnessed many interesting things. I have learned much, letting the people who pass through educate me.
Yes, the lovely skins.
However, it's been a solitary life. I have seen much, but experienced little.
When?
I have long felt like someone on the outside, looking in on a world I could never touch.
There was a melancholy in Elowen's countenance that Cassidy had not yet seen, nor even thought the woman capable of. The Elowen she knew was dignified, taking such charge of her emotions that none ever showed. I have not known her long, of course. Perhaps that was merely how she comforts herself around those of little acquaintance.
What made you decide to reach out to me?
Reach out?
That is...
She thought back to their first meeting, the way her own heart had leapt at the sight of Elowen. And Elowen had known all about her, had apparently been watching her for some time.
You didn't have to be sitting under the tree that day. You could have continued watching me from afar. But you found me. You spoke to me.
And I'm so glad she did. But I fear she might call me silly if I say such a thing.
I thought you delicately beautiful.
The matter-of-fact way that Elowen said this struck Cassidy. She was flattered, of course, yet part of her was also worried. Beauty was not something lasting. It would be a shaky foundation for any relationship. If it had been Corsair complimenting her beauty, Cassidy might have taken it better. But this was Elowen, a woman of whom she was becoming increasingly fond. She's flirting with her. She took this long to listen. Yeah?
Thought? That's past tense, is it not? What do you think of me now?
I still think you exceedingly beautiful. But dainty and delicate you are not. You are far from being the poised princess I took you for.
Cassidy wins, and her mouth formed a little pout as she turned her eyes to the ground. As I thought. It is to be expected. Someone so graceful as Elowen would, of course, find me lacking.
You are not what I expected, but I believe that might be for the better.
Oh, the tone change. Your tone change on that. Your tone change. Slowly, Cassidy tilted her face up, her eyes growing large with disbelief.
For the better?
You are always exceeding my expectations. I wonder if the other people I allowed to come and go would have as well, had I let them so near.
Well...
Hmm?
It may be selfish of me, but I'm truly happy you let the others go. I'm glad that I'm the only person you allowed close. I'm sorry, that makes me sound so ugly.
No. No uglier than I.
Oh, look at that. the roots, the branches takes hold, and the clothes are tattered. Look at the change. Suddenly that change. Hello Summer, welcome. Yes, this game is free and has the full voice acting. This is very lovely one, and the game is very lovely. She peered through the polished veneer and saw a woman who was tired and hungry. Yes, free with full VA. Yes.
Are you alright?
And look, it's returning to normal again. In a blink, Elowen appeared to be the same as always.
I am fine.
Even so, Cassidy could not shake the feeling that something was off.
Are you quite sure? You seem tired.
Elowen was silent for a long while.
Yes. Perhaps. Perhaps I am tired. Forgive me. I am not used to the midday sun.
I didn't read that. Wait. It occurred to Cassidy that she had never seen Elowen in the morning before. Could she be something of night owl? I hadn't supposed it. And here I invited her to walk with me underneath the full blaze of the sun. How thoughtless I am.
Elowen,
Yes?
why don't you stay with me at my cottage tonight?
Thoughts.
What?
Well, I am worried about you. And it can't be easy, being a woman and living alone.
She knew this best of all.
I would be much more at ease if you would come with me tonight. Let us break bread together and while away the night in comfort.
Yeah. She was not expecting Eleven to accept. Not Eleven, who had reacted so strongly to an invitation merely a few days earlier. And yet,
All right.
Really?
Would it be better if I returned to my home?
No, I was just worried that you would not accept. I realize that's not very
yes.
dainty to be so forward.
Break bread together. Yeah. That is an interesting expression that she used. Well, break bread together and while away in the night. At this, Elowen finally smiled. Cassidy's heart felt akin to an acrobat at the sight, doing backflips and pirouettes in joy.
It would be my honor to accompany you. It may do us both some good.
As ever, Cassidy was far too excited to hear the latter. Looking forward to a night with her new favorite person, she had already changed course and started along the path home. Cassidy closed the front door behind them and went to the kitchen to put away the plants they'd gathered.
Is there anything I can help with?
Oh, leave it to me. Just have a seat and rest. You really do look tired.
All right.
While she put her affairs in order in the kitchen, Cassidy couldn't help but think back to the things Elowen had said. She said that she likes me the way that I am. That's so kind. She felt a deep sense of warmth and satisfaction, the likes of which she had not felt in a long time. Cassidy returned to the living room a short while later, 2 cups of tea in hand.
Oh!
She found Eleven asleep, slumped on the divan. Divan. That is divan. Divan. First they make bread, next they're tying the red thread. Yeah. Poor thing. She must have been exhausted. Yep, divan. Yep. There was a loose strand of hair in front of Eleven's face. Cassidy reached down and tugged behind her ear. She looks so innocent when she's asleep. Chuckling to herself, Cassidy lets Eleven rest and pass some quiet time reading by the other women's side. Night soon fell, and the pair supped together. Eleven doesn't eat very much. No wonder she's so thin. Eleven, unaware of being observed so directly, delicately sipped a glass of water.
Are you full?
I am satisfied.
Oh, you eat so little. I'm worried for your health.
I eat enough. I do not like doing anything in excess.
I see.
Her tone left no room for argument. After dinner, Cassidy cleared the plates and things away and began to get the room ready for sleep. The cottage was not large. Her parlor had to double as her bedroom out of necessity. It was all well and good for a single person, but now that another had been added, Cassidy became acutely aware of the lack of space.
There's only one bed.
I do not mind sleeping on the divan. I already did earlier.
Once again, I'm sorry that I didn't wake you up. You just looked so at peace. I could not bear to wake you.
I'm embarrassed to have allowed you to see me in such a state. I only fear... No, it is nothing. I will gladly sleep on the divan or the ground. I am not choosy.
Oh, that won't do at all. You're a guest.
Cassidy gulped. Truth be told, she had one other, much more preferable arrangement in mind.
We could share
Yeah.
the bed. There's room enough for two.
Yeah, enough.
I notice you do not offer to sleep on the divan.
Yeah. Struck by her own lack of graciousness, Cassidy bit her lip, cowed into silence.
I am only teasing. If you do not mind being so snug, I will be happy to share the space with you.
Oh, nothing would please me more than to be close to you. I mean, yes, wonderful. I shall fetch another pillow then.
Oh, Cassidy. She flew out of the room to retrieve a spare pillow from the closet, face burning with embarrassment. And there is the
Do you
there.
have enough space? You're not too cramped.
I am fine. Truth be told, I do not mind the proximity.
There was a faraway look in Eleven's eyes.
I'd been alone for so long. Until you came.
How did you come to live here in the forest? Where is your family?
That's safe. Perhaps she cannot say. Perhaps it's not that she does not wish to tell me, but that she cannot. She may have some circumstances that prevent her from speaking on the subject. Was it important of me to bring it up?
I'm sorry. Is it difficult for you to tell me?
It is a trying subject. I'm not quite sure where to begin.
She took a deep breath.
I have lived here all my life. Once I was not alone, but
Elowen paused and sighed.
you remember the wisteria tree?
Of course! That's my favorite place in the entire forest.
Have you noticed that there are no other wisteria trees around it?
Ah, yeah, you are the tree. You are definitely the tree.
Now that you mention it.
She never had thought about it, but as Cassidy searched her memories, she realized that Elowen was correct.
You're right. I wonder why that is.
There is an even older wisteria tree deep in the forest. But now those are the only two left, and they are so far from each other. So it is with me.
Cassidy found her choice of words puzzling, but noted.
I once had siblings. They have long since departed, so I don't really have family here anymore. Others have come and gone, as I said, but I could not relate to them. I watched them from afar without entering their lives, and did not mourn them when they left mine. And so, the years went by.
You'll never be alone again.
Elowen's eyes widened. Cassidy thought she might start crying, but she only smiled sadly.
I see.
Cassidy snuggled just a little bit closer to the other women, as if to show meaning through actions where words may fail. And so, they passed the night together in pleasant company and warm satisfaction. Conversation, not
When the
satisfaction.
sunshine blazes down,
Sorry. Okay, let's do the next thing.
I soon begin to wish for rain. But when you've gone away, my dear, I soon long for the sun again.
Day 6. Cassidy awoke alone with a cold space beside her. Again, she's gone in the morning. What could she be doing so early?
It's highly suspect.
She could no longer ignore the gnawing feeling of dread. Perhaps she would ask Elowen upon their next meeting. Oh, finally you realized. I guess you realized who is Elowen. Who Elowen is. I guess.
Still, what a wonderful night that was.
Indeed it is, indeed. Each precious memory had been carved into Cassidy's heart. She yawned and slowly pulled herself out of bed. With or without Elowen, she would have to get on with her day. Cassidy hummed a little to herself as she cleaned up and prepared breakfast. Sitting down at the table with her bread and morning tea, she glanced at her stationery set left by the face. A lot has happened. Perhaps I should write Alexander a letter? Maybe this is the branching, because there is a yes and no. If yes, Alexander will come. If no, Alexander will not come, and we do the happily ever after, maybe. Let's do the yes first.
It's important that my brother knows what goes on in my life.
Yeah, that is my guess. Also, if you heard something like fireworks, because it is firework. Because this is Lunar New Year on our side. So yeah, yep. Xinjia, Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year. But yeah, you can hear that from my mic, I guess. So don't worry. After finishing her breakfast, she set herself to the task of writing to Alexander as usual. Yet her heart was not all in it. Her handwriting was sloppy. Though always lonesome before, the former princess' life now felt so much emptier without Elowen's presence. Though she could be accustomed to such solitude, she could barely concentrate on her usual chores.
To think that a few days could change a person so.
In a lull in her activities, Cassidy's gaze went to the window. Deep in the forest, her beloved wisteria tree stood. She could see it clearly in her mind's eyes. Elowen is like that tree.
Elowen is very much like that tree. She said as much herself. So beautiful and haunting and alone.
The other woman's words from the night before weighed heavily on Cassidy. She passed the rest of the day peacefully, but with a sense of unease. The next day came, and still no Elowen. Cassidy was left with nothing but her own thoughts. And thinking of Elowen perturbed Cassidy greatly. In the last several days, the woman had embedded herself into Cassidy's life like a thorn.
I never expected to become close to another person again.
She thought about Elowen and the things the other women had said, the hours spent together that were so few, but felt an impossible eternity.
I never did ask her about her feet. Why are her toes always curled? Despite how she looks, she must be much older than me. She has a proper way of speaking.
Yeah.
Always says she's lived in the forest a long time.
Yeah.
And with the intricacy of her clothing and her manners.
Something did not quite add up. Elowen did not seem to like people much. Certainly it did not seem her presence in the wood, despite how long it had been, was known to many. Alexander most probably would not have sent me here if it was known that a beautiful woman was living alone in this very wood. Where did Elowen come from? Why was she alone? She still had no satisfactory answer. Thinking it all over, Day 7. Elowen is unearthly. Cassidy suddenly realized that all of the things she knew about Elowen pointed to something potentially horrible. She had been so overcome by the woman's peculiar charm and beautiful looks that she had overlooked something. Cassidy shook her head. Perhaps she was jumping to conclusions too quickly?
I must be a little lonely, that's all. I haven't seen her since that night. She can be blunt, perhaps, but I believe she means well. I care deeply for her. And she...
remembering the last several days. Eleven cares for me. Presently, there was a knock at the door, startling Cassidy out of her deep thoughts. It was a short knock, a signal for a letter not accompanying a box.
A letter? So soon after the last? I did send him a letter yesterday, but it is not possible for him to have read it and replied already. Right? Perhaps my brother finally understands just how much I miss him.
This is day 7, so please expect something different. If I live here, if one day Alexander allows me to live, what else awaits me?
Is a political marriage truly my only means of escape?
If I can be useful to the kingdom in any way, is that better? Will my life no longer be considered a waste? Alexander. A lot of choice. How long must I stay here? How long must I stay here in the forest? Will I forever be here, atoning for my mistakes? She let out a long sigh. Her thoughts had taken her on a not so merry chase.
If I dwell on these thoughts, there will be no end to them.
Sorry. From time to time, eyes went somewhat nervously to the window. And so evening fell. Cassidy was sitting on the divan, enjoying a warm cup of tea as she read the latest book her brother had sent her. It was a darker tale than she was accustomed to, the tale of the tragic young mermaid. It seemed to be a fairy tale from faraway land. Certainly, Veromere had simpler, happier stories. Or perhaps those were the only ones she had been allowed to learn.
Goodness! Every step she takes feels like walking upon knives? How dreadful! How could this author be so terribly cruel?
Cassidy dropped her book in alarm. Definitely not the Disney version. Yep, maybe the original version of The Little Mermaid. Ah! Okay. What happened to you, 11? What happened to you? And the ears. Look at the ears. Look at the eyes. There was something dreadful standing in the doorway.
A monster?
Cassidy muttered this under her breath, overcome by fear and awe.
It is not safe here.
Yet, no matter the appearance, Cassidy would never mistake that voice. Melodious, she had found it not long ago. Beautiful, she had thought it better until this very moment. She would be hard-pressed to describe Elowen as beautiful now.
What did you say?
There is a large army approaching from the east. They...
What? I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that there is an army coming here to invade this place.
They wear your colors.
Alexander.
Cassidy could not help but gasp. The monster nodded.
I am afraid so. You must away with me.
Cassidy bit her lip. Alexander would not harm me. If anything, they must be here to protect me from this monster.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Quickly grasping the situation, the ex-princess calmed herself and tapped into her many years of diplomacy lessons. No! Why do you think that way?
I will come right away.
Then,
Would you mind waiting for me outside? I will gather my things quickly.
yes.
I won't be but a moment.
Of course.
The monster turned and left through the still open door, its movement slow and measured as always. As soon as 11 was inside, Cassidy flew forward and slammed the door shut.
Cassidy.
Ignoring 11's sad, feeble voice, Cassidy locked and bolted the door. For good measure, she dragged the divan in front of it. The door shook as 11 tried to enter, but would not give way.
Why?
How can I possibly heed the words of a monster? Who knows what you will do to me once you have me outside?
She was a demon, here to corrupt me. It is just as Alexander said to the barons.
I allowed your beauty, your charm to corrupt me. I have sinned. I will sin no longer.
Why?
Be gone, monster! Darken my doorstep no more!
Why, Cassidy? Why? Elowen said nothing in reply, but then, wordlessly, the monster ambled toward the windows.
Oh no! I didn't think about blocking those!
But the monster made no move to enter forcefully. It just stood there with the same blank look on its face. In some ways, Cassidy felt that was worse. Had Alawan moved just enough to follow her word to the letter? To darken the doorstep no more? It seemed like something she might do. The thought made Cassidy's heart ache ever so slightly. And the night passed like that, with Cassidy pressed against the door in fear and Elowen standing in the place, still as a tree. Watching. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime, the sun rose.
It's finally morning. If the army truly is coming, I wish they'd get here sooner.
The day breaks.
Cassidy looked to the window in alarm. Could it be that Eleven hadn't slept either? Eleven stood there still, looking even more haggard than she had the night before. The monster's gaze was unfocused. It seemed not to be looking at Cassidy, but rather through her.
I have failed. I could not understand the most important thing. I could not convey my love without a voice.
Title
And
drop.
so, this wisteria must wither in the harsh light of seventh day past.
Oh, is that is the trial to the wisteria. So you need to confess the love on seventh day or withered. Interesting. Interesting. Before Cassidy's eyes, Elowen crumbled into the wilted wisteria petals and dust. The monster, the woman, was no more. Deep in the woods, a wisteria tree once adored by the maiden withered and died away as well.
When bargain is struck, its terms must be met.
Bargain to whom?
Else take on your fate, and more suffering beget.
Ash to ash, and... What the hell? Yeah, the first version of Sea Wish. That is true too. That is true too. But interesting. That is very interesting. To the other wisteria maybe, because there is two wisteria what she said. Okay, they said to check here after the game. Cassidy, the protagonist, an exiled princess and the eldest child of the Veromere royal family. Cassidy is nice but rather clueless and struggles to live on her own due to her pampered upbringing. In terms of the original motive that WV is based on, Cassidy is technically the human prince for whom Elowen trades away her voice. Not quite princely, huh? I love Cassidy very, very much and I treasure her pretty dearly. She also been my avatar since development without a voice started so 3 years. I think I'm really going to miss her once this game is out. Ah, okay, so basically this is based from Little Mermaid for that. Interesting. Yep, some decision I need to change a bit. She's very expressive, like an open book, and has certain charm to her that no one can resist. She's quite popular with her brother, all her handmaidens, Elowen, and me included. Maybe a bit too popular for her own good. In two of the endings, she finds her true love and her happy ending too. Ah, okay. There is multiple ending. In Good and One, I wanted to emphasize the more human ways that she adapted to Elowen. Domestic life, cooking, simple humble clothing, and a few examples of this. I think Ponytail Cassidy is really cute and I love driving the little outfits. Okay, I can load that. And let's see. Elowen, the mysterious beauty who appears before Cassidy one day. While at a glance she is graceful and beautiful in otherworldly way, she is also quick to anger and later self-centered. Sometimes she becomes quiet and a little gloomy when staring out at the woods outside of the cottage windows. Our little mermaid, at first glance, she is not as naive as sweet as Cassidy, but the more you get to know her, the more that side of her shows. She becomes so infatuated as a tree, not realizing how much of airhead Cassidy could be, that she gambled with her life. Though to be fair, trees doesn't have brains nor blood, so Elowen is quite mysterious. Even when scripting her expressions, I struggle to pinpoint what emotions she would have at any given moment. Is she saying this sincerely? Is it a joke? Is she actually angry? That being said, I hope that after you finish all the endings, you can go back and hear her true voice. When I got the CG list to draw, I was so excited to get started on Good and 2. Originally, CG for this featured Elowen's demon form that you see throughout the game. You can see this original version in the Without a Voice art book. When I was updating the ancestor, I decided that I wanted to give her a totally new look that showed that she was part of nature and not fighting against it. I hope they like the alternative form too. I want to see the whole thing. Oh, there is a lot of music. And there is a lot of gallery. Okay. And this. There is a lot of gallery, a lot of music, and a lot of things. So, and this is the achievement for the ending, I guess. Ash to Ash. obtained by getting the bad ending edge to edge. The princess cannot save the woman from her curse. Elowen tries to warn Cassidy, but frightened and suspicious of the world around her, Cassidy locks Elowen out and awaits the rescue. Elowen watches, and the morning her time runs out. She waits, faces the mystery of petals, and disappears to the wind. We cannot click others, so I think we have 9 more endings. We can do that, but we will do the ad break, and after that we will chase the other ending. We have 52.09 game completion. Okay, that should be good, so we can do the other ending after this. But yeah, ad break is starting soon, very soon from what I see. It is a bit, I didn't see that the ad break that, but we can see the completion here. It's good. This is about a gallery, music, characters. Okay. This is help. No. Extra? Yeah, the one that I help. Anyways. Yeah, I was thinking that too. The army was coming to kill her. Not kill the tree, but kill her. Anyways, yeah, ad break is here. So let's see. Here, light. Yep. Okay, see you in 3 minutes. Okay, I'm back and let's try some more choices. The first one in what I'm thinking is this when we need to send a letter. This one. I don't want to send a letter. She shook her head.
That can wait. I'm more worried about what Elowen is up to now.
Though always lonesome before, the former princess' life now felt so much emptier without Elowen's presence. Though she could be accustomed to such solitude, she could barely concentrate on her usual chores.
To think that a few days could change a person so.
In a lull in her activities, Cassidy's gaze went to the window. Deep in the forest, her beloved wisteria tree stood. She could see it so clearly in her mind's eye. I wonder if she's there.
I wonder if she is there now. Somewhere in the forest.
She passed the rest of the day peacefully, but with a sense of unease. Let's see, this is a day 7 decision, and we don't send letter to Alexander. The next day came and still no Elowen. Cassidy was left with nothing but her own thoughts, and thinking of Elowen perturbed Cassidy greatly. In the last several days, the woman had embedded herself in Cassidy's life like a thorn.
I never expected to become close to another person again.
She thought about Elowen and the things the other woman had said, the hours spent together that were so few, but felt an impossible eternity.
I never did ask her about her feet. Why are her toes always curled? Despite how she looks, she must be much older than me. She has a proper way of speaking, and always says she's lived in the forest a long time. And with the intricacy of her clothing, and her manners.
Something did not quite add up. Elowen did not seem to like people much. Certainly it did seem her presence in the wood, despite how long it had been, was known to many. Yeah, this is the same one. Yeah, this one, same one. Elowen is strange. She's rather strange. Then again, there is nothing normal about my situation either. This only means that I have more things to discover about her in the future. Cassidy shook her head. Even if Elowen was that strange, Cassidy knew that there was more to her than that. Wasn't there?
She can be blunt, perhaps, but I believe she means well. I care deeply for her. And she...
Ah, this is different. There is new choice. This is new choice, because before there is no specific choice. New choice. Thank God, thank goodness we have that. Guess for me or kind. Presently, there was a knock at the door, startling Cassidy out of her deep thoughts. It was a short knock, a signal for a letter, not a becoming box.
A letter? So soon after the last? Perhaps my brother finally understands just how much I miss him. Is a political marriage?
This one, same. Did you ever truly love me? This is different. Is the precious younger brother that I once knew completely gone? Are you truly the one who has been writing me these letters? No, I don't think so. One negative thought spiraled into a dozen. She let out a long sigh. Her thoughts had taken her on not so many chase.
If I dwell on these thoughts, there will be no end to them.
This is saying... She brewed herself a cup of tea to calm her nerves and began reading a new book. From time to time, her eyes went somewhat nervously to the window. This is the same. And so evening fell.
Oh,
Cassidy awoke suddenly from an impromptu nap. Ah, this is different. She frowned at the book in her lap, still open to the boring page she had left off on.
I can hardly recall what the book is about. How unlike me.
Ah, and on the other path, the book is about Little Mermaid and we don't read it. Yet, she knew the reason. She was still distracted by thoughts of Elowen.
It's evening now. I wonder. If I go into the forest now, might I?
The front door suddenly burst open.
Please, pardon my intrusion. An army is approaching. I do not like the look of them, and I fear for your safety.
Ah, different words. Despite her strange appearance, Cassidy knew it was Elowen immediately. These piercing golden eyes, that long hair. She was alarmed, yes, confused, but the concern that was clear on Elowen's face overtook any other questions she might have. She looks different, but that is her. Those eyes, there must be some real danger. Thank you, Kim. Yes. Surely, yeah, I think the pathing is the unearthly. That one. That is one of the pathing. Surely there is some reason for the way she looks. I'm certain she'll tell me. But for now...
All right. What should we do?
We?
Yes. You are with me. Are you not?
You believe what I say?
I do. I trust you wholeheartedly.
Do you?
Elowen's breath seemed to hitch, most probably from the fear she felt. That nervousness permeated her entire being. Cassidy noticed this, and having noticed, there was no way that Cassidy could fear Elowen, no matter how she appeared.
Do you love me?
Ah, yeah, she admits that. It was not the response Cassidy expected. But deep down, she knew that this was not time to hesitate, to demur. Cassidy looked Elowen straight in the eye.
Yes. I love you.
It was important that Elowen know that.
I see.
She recovers, look. And so, the frog had turned back into the dashing prince. Cassidy smiled warmly.
Now will you finally tell me what is going on?
Oh, the army.
No, not that. About you.
Yeah.
Yes. You deserve an explanation.
Yes, please explain to us too.
I was, until but a few days ago, a wisteria tree. The same one you often visited. I have lived in this forest for hundreds of years. Mostly alone. At some point, I developed a spirit. I was able to observe the beings that passed through my life. Many humans came and went. I was lonely, but I was all right with the way things were. I was a tree. They were not. I was not to interfere in their lives.
What changed?
You. You and your silly ranting, your singing, your awkward couplets. That sad look you got in your eyes as you gazed at the horizon.
Look at that, look at the blush.
I was smitten.
Even after you realized that I wasn't so dainty as you believed?
Yes. Perhaps I came to love you even more for all your flaws, though I do not see them as such. I had to speak with you. I had to become human and be with you. I was consumed by that wish. And then one night, a little voice whispered to me,
A little voice.
"Will you strike a bargain with me? If you fulfill the conditions, you can become human.
Who was it that whispered to you?
I'm not sure. A god, perhaps. Or a demon. It mattered not. I took the bargain. I was given 7 days. In 7 days, if you fell in love with me, I would become like you. But in that time, I was neither tree nor human. I was not given human emotions. My human-like legs caused me great pain. With each step, it felt as if I was treading upon knife points.
The legs of the Little Mermaid one. And the curling fingers too.
And every morning, I needed to take in the purest of sunlight to survive.
Ah, that's why I never saw you in the morning.
Yes.
Cassidy was tempted to ask Elowen more, especially about the other side of bargain. What would happen had Elowen failed? But there was something in the way Elowen skirted that topic that taught Cassidy not to ask. We saw it on another ending. Perhaps it was better that you don't hear. In a way, we are right to get that ending first before this, I guess. One day, when Elowen is ready, no doubt she will tell all to me. But there is something else still to consider now.
Oh, you said that there's an army approaching.
Yes. The morning after I spent the night with you.
Suddenly, Cassidy too was embarrassed.
That morning, as I was leaving, I noticed a man crouched outside your cottage looking in.
Ah, he must have been one of my brother's agents. This does not bode well. I am not certain that my brother will act so quickly. But
the barons, yes.
Perhaps, in their eyes, I have outlived my usefulness as a political pawn. Those soldiers may be coming to bring me back to the castle. By force if necessary. Oh dear.
You do wish to return home, do you not?
Cassidy laughed in self-derision.
Had you asked me that a week ago, I undoubtedly would have said yes. However, I cannot return to Veromere. There is no Elowen there. Alexander would never allow you to come. Fear we would never meet again.
Cassidy.
It was the first time Elowen had said her name. Cassidy did not let that escape her notice.
I will not go, Elowen. I do not want to be without you.
Elowen nodded.
All right. There is only one thing we can do.
She explained her plan to Cassidy, who accepted it with a few adjustments. The soldier arrived the next day to a frightful scene. I don't like what this entails. In front of the house, Cassidy lay sprawled on the ground. There was blood everywhere, a knife protruding from her abdomen. A group of soldiers inspected the body, leaning in for a closer look.
What is the meaning of this? The princess is dead. No doubt oft by the lover we heard about. The harlot deserved no better.
Yeah, the game. I was thinking we will have the happy ending.
Still, I do not envy the man who tells King Alexander the news.
Yeah, unless it is a plan, unless it is something that stage. We'll see. They proceeded to argue over whether or not to bury the body, ultimately deciding that it was well above any of their pay grades. Once their investigation was complete, they left the place. Ah. Okay, that's good. That's a good plan. Not a fake body. So basically, I am really this close to do the true ending before getting the bad ending first. Wow. Well, yeah, that is close to my gameplay, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But yeah, Cassidy inhaled the biggest gulp of air of her life.
That was close. I thought my heart would stop.
She heard a low laugh from nearby.
It's not funny. I never dreamed they would get so close.
Still, it's good that they did. Now there can be no doubt in their minds that you were deceased. The only question is, what shall we do if they come back?
That is precisely why we must now enact phase 2 of my plan.
Your plan?
Come now, let's not split hairs. Phase 2 is entirely my idea.
That is a good cat face.
Of course, as I have not heard of it.
Phase 2? We go on a trip!
Well, they need to run first.
A trip?
Yes! You have never been anywhere but this forest, correct?
Well, that is true.
Wouldn't you like to see the world with me? And once we've had our fill, we can return here. I'm sure after enough time has gone by, they will be fully convinced of my death. There will be no reason for my brother's agents to return, and we can live here in peace.
Yes. Yes. I must say that sounds absolutely lovely.
It is. Cassidy took Eleven's hand in hers.
Elowen, you know, all my life, I only did as my parents wanted. And as Alexander wanted. I had resolved myself to being trapped forever. Yet now I am able to do as I wish. It is all thanks to you.
You are mistaken. If not for you, I would still be a tree. It is I who must thank you.
If we can argue about who is more grateful to have met whom, I believe we are happy indeed.
Yes. Yes, you are right, my dear.
So the two ladies set out on a grand adventure. They journeyed to distant lands and saw many new things, met many new people. It was a trip of the lifetime. And once they found themselves sated of the world and their travels were through.
Are you quite sure that the recipe calls for these small peppers? I do not recall such a thing.
This is cute. Look at the ponytail. And look at that, the band.
I am sure, my love.
Look.
You can make as many adorable noises as you want. I shall not relent. One day you will have to get used to eating dishes with some spice. And no saying, only a kiss from you can relieve my sore tongue either.
That's cute though.
I would never.
Though she was quite sure that she had. At least once or twice. Perhaps the two of them are still there now. Living happily ever after.
Though we may journey many miles, I know well where my true home lies. By your side, where I remain, to watch with you every sunrise.
truly free and obtain the truly free ending. So this is the truly free ending. Obtain by getting the good ending, truly free. The princess left the demon and fulfills the term of her curse. Human face facade breaking away to reveal a monstrous appearance. Elowen appears in front of Cassidy to warn her of the intruders. Cassidy recognizes her laugh and affirms it, and Elowen's curse is broken to reveal her human form. Together, they outwit Alexander in his army and travel for years. At the end of the journey, they return home and live happily ever after. The icon is chilly. Yep, I think that's true. And I think it is good to stop in here for this point because we may stumble on the weird ending or the dangerous ending or the food ending, knife ending, bow ending, alarm ending. There is a lot of different endings here. I may want to do this sometime again to revisit to see other endings, but now I can say we got the good ending of this game. Like that, like what they said in here. A good end one. Domestic life, cooking, simply humbly clothing, and a few examples of this. Parental Cassidy. This is the good ending one, definitely. And there is also the good end too that we may be joining Elowen on the tree world. Something like that. But yeah, this is a good time to stop because this is a good ship. Yeah, maybe after this fest I want to revisit this again to get all other endings, but for now let's save our feelings in ending this here before doing more heavy things. So yeah, that's all for today. We have a good we have one bad ending and one good ending, truly free one. And thank you as always for joining me in this journey of the quiet and yet heavy game. That is a good one. This is a really good one. A fully voiced game with 10 endings and free. Please support the developer if you can. The game link is there, and also they have the paid version with the art book and the epilogue side story. So if you want, you can check on Steam. So hello Annette. Yeah, we are ending this, and yeah, we will continue doing it some other time, but this week we will do the fest for LRHDB2026 Love, Romance, and Heartbreak. And this game has a lot of those. Yeah, it is good. I like it, so I like it. I like the first game of this. Yes. But anyways, I need to eat the pizza. Yeah. Anyways, this is all for me. Okay. Good morning, after evening. This is Vio from the Gaming Channel. Have a good one. Have a better day ahead. And take care all. Yan. Bye bye. And see you soon. Okay. I'm checking a bit if it is possible to reach someone. Ah yeah, Summer is playing Heartspell Horizon Academy. So let's raid Summer. Okay. See you later. And take care all. Have a good one. And bye bye.